Coming up, local children who attend these schools may have to walk different hallways next year. Plus, hear the courtroom verdicts for the men who robbed this Glasgow business. Find out why a local dealership is forced to close after 77 years of business. And see which teams are back on the courts as the snow finally takes a timeout. All this and more on the Rockbridge Report. Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of the Rockbridge Report. I'm Queenie Wong. 2 Rockbridge County schools may have to close their doors because of budget cuts that could be as much as $2.2 million, Superintendent John Reynolds told the school board Monday. But Reynolds said the closings may not happen. Extracurricular programs and fine art activities across the districts could be cut first. Then, Rockbridge County Middle and Effinger Elementary could be slated to close because Reynolds says they are the least economically efficient schools in the district. Students at these schools would filter into Maury River Middle School and Central Elementary. It's less clear what will happen to faculty and staff members.
It's not a given that just because a school is closed that all the people in that school are out of job. They fall into where their seniority fits within that employee group within considering the whole.
The Board of Supervisors has plans to give approximately $600,000 to Rockbridge County schools to cushion the blow of the budget cuts. The district awaits the General Assembly's final decision on the budget set to come in sometime next month. You can attend a public hearing about the school board's plans at 6:30 on March 1st in the Rockbridge County Administration Building. 2 of 3 men arrested for robbing a Glasgow convenience store in August await sentencing after a circuit judge found them guilty of robbery and using a firearm while committing a felony. The verdicts came Wednesday night after a 2-day trial that lasted more than 18 hours. Prosecutors used more than 50 pieces of evidence to show that Juan LeBron and Matthew Salcedo participated in a criminal street gang known as the Latin Kings. The evidence included a surveillance tape that showed the men robbing the Glasgow Grocery Express during the bench trial. The defendants' relatives, victims of the robbery, forensic scientists, and gang experts testified before the judges. The third defendant, Damon Turner, goes to trial on April 27th. Rockbridge reporter Rosie Purdy has been covering the trial this week. She joins us now with more information on what happened in the courtroom. Thanks for being here, Rosie.
You're welcome.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about what the atmosphere was like in the courtroom this week?
Well, it was a very lengthy trial, and the tension among the defendants, the prosecuting attorneys, and even the witnesses was palpable. At one point, Juan LeBron snapped at a witness. Matthew Salcedo's mother and girlfriend were there when he was taken away in handcuffs during the trial, and his newborn child was also present and was often heard crying outside the courtroom. Salcedo would often turn his head towards the sound.
Let's talk about the defendants, Salcedo and LeBron. What was their reaction once they heard the guilty verdict read?
Well, the defendants acted very differently throughout the trial. LeBron, who's the older of the 2 men, remained silent for most of the trial. His testimony was brief, and when he heard the guilty verdict, he showed almost no emotion. Salcedo shook his head and rolled his eyes at the prosecutors. After the judge told Salcedo he was guilty, he began swearing and yelling in the courtroom and continued to shout profanities as he was taken out in handcuffs.
Rosie, thank you for that full report.
You're welcome.
While gang issues in Glasgow may be coming to a close, a drug investigation in Rockbridge County and Lexington continues to unfold. A second Washington and Lee University student has been connected to an investigation into drug dealing in and around Lexington. That became public last month. In court papers filed February 10th, prosecutors linked Richard Hahn to drug dealing. They also put him on notice that the state wants to take ownership of his Jeep Grand Cherokee and $837 in cash. Deputies seized Hahn's cars and cash during a January 23rd raid on a house at 115 Winding Way. Prosecutors say Hahn used the car to sell drugs. This brings to three the number of Washington and Lee students implicated in drug dealings. In the past month, on February 1st, police arrested Sophie Shong on misdemeanor charges of selling marijuana. Peter Martinez was arrested in January on felony charges of drug possession and distribution. A Lexington man was indicted on February 1st on charges of felony domestic assault. This is his fourth charge of domestic assault in the last 20 years. Rockbridge reporter Katie Schiller found out why domestic violence is an issue in Rockbridge County.
Robert Hensel Wright is just one example of the 150 domestic violence calls in Rockbridge County in 2009. He has been indicted on charges of assault and battery of a family member 4 times, including this year. Last year, he pleaded guilty to the same charges and was sentenced to 1 year in prison, but he served 5 days.
And people have to realize that domestic violence doesn't happen just because someone gets mad at somebody. There's economic reasons, there's family reasons, there's all kinds of things that can cause domestic violence.
Project Horizon, a shelter and counseling service, sees 40 to 50 clients per month. The Domestic Relations Court sees several hundred cases in a year. 3 domestic violence charges equal a felony, and that's what Wright faces right now.
He admitted to an assault, said I slapped her, no, I should not have.
In domestic violence cases, the state presses the charges. The court can offer legal protection for victims, but one problem is that not all cases are reported.
Some people report, things to the police. Some people choose not to report but seek out services, and probably a lot more people just are still living in domestic violence situations.
Domestic violence hotlines offer information about how to handle abusive situations. Police in Virginia are required to arrest anyone they believe has committed domestic assault. If convicted, Robert Wright faces up to 5 years in prison. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Katie Schiller.
Project Horizon encourages victims to use social services programs, the food bank, and counseling services. Later in the show, hear the latest scores and standings of your local favorite sports teams. But first, find out why the owner of a local car dealership has to give up his life's work. That story and more after the break.
I wouldn't have been at this ceremony if I hadn't been at this ceremony first. Unfortunately, nearly 30% of U.S. high school students aren't making it to graduation. And every one of us, every parent, every friend, and neighbor, has the responsibility to provide the support and encouragement they need to make it through. Because we all need to see a lot more of these pictures.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. I really want to show you something.
1, 2, ready, go. L-O-V-E. It's a mystery. All is love. Is love.
Did you play today? For great play ideas, visit www.smallstep.com.
For 77 years, 4 generations, the Woody family have sold and serviced Chevys in the Rockbridge County. Rockbridge reporter Caroline Helms looks at what's lost as the dealership is being forced to close.
Well, my dad used to be in the grocery business in Brownsburg. And in 1933, he opened the Chevrolet dealership in Lexington. And we've been the dealer ever since.
Woody Chevrolet has been a fixture around Lexington for almost 80 years. It began in a brand new building on Main Street and quickly became an integral part of the community.
We had a big talent show, and everybody in town was in our building on Saturday night. The whole town, the whole county showed up. And we had some good talent.
Woody was also one of the founding members of the Lexington Country Club in 1955. But after General Motors filed for bankruptcy last year, the automaker decided to drastically shrink the number of dealers it would supply. Woody's was on the list. Many small-town dealerships like Woody's are losing their contracts with GM and closing their doors on the communities they have served for many years. Woody's son says each dealership pays for all its new cars, parts, and facilities, so keeping smaller dealerships open is not costing GM anything.
They absolutely contribute nothing.
So
So
really
that was their big line.
Because it is the only Chevrolet dealership and service shop within 40 miles, many Lexington residents are sad to see Woody's go.
Woody's was convenient for me. I work in the visitor center in Lexington too, and I could bring the truck here and then they would take me to work, and then I would then bring it back to me at the end of the day.
Woody says the dealership may not last much longer.
It could be within 30 days because we don't have the inventory to stay until October.
Courtesy Ford of Buena Vista plans to move into the Chevrolet dealership after it closes. Woody hopes that most of his 18 employees will be hired by Ford, especially his family members who now need a job. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Caroline Helms.
The Ford dealer in Buena Vista is looking for permission to erect a 50-foot sign when he moves into the old Woody facilities. For years, the County Planning Commission refused to allow Taylor Woody to erect such a big sign. But on Wednesday night, the commission gave the Ford dealer a friendly hearing on the matter. The county planner was told to see how it would look on Route 11 to have a new 200-square-foot sign there. After the break, see if there's more snow in store. We'll have your 5-day forecast. And coming up, find out the newest places to get your raw fish fix in downtown Lexington.
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
It's close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Es un gran día para los deportes. Vaya festín de jugadas que tenemos.
Mucha acción, David, por eso nos vamos directamente a la pelota. Es el duelo padre-hijo en el jardín. Batazo al jardín derecho, ¡no! Y se cayó.
Se cayó, pero bueno, ahí va, ahí va, ahí va.
Nos vamos ahora al básquet, 2 contra 1.
Y la clava. Solita, la clavó.
Y ahora el fútbol. Ahí está papá, que la pase.
Solo.
Lo va a definir, golazo. Estas son escenas que no se repiten. Las mejores jugadas suceden en casa.
Tómate el tiempo para ser un buen papá.
It's a great day, isn't it?
Yeah. Too bad your boat's gonna sink at 11:05.
Don't come closer. I have rabies. Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today.
Order. For residents looking to eat out, there's a new option to choose from. Rockbridge reporter Katie Giedis discovers why local restaurant owners think this addition is good for business.
Tong Dynasty is the new restaurant in town. It's a Chinese buffet, sushi bar, and hibachi grill all in one place.
We try to bring some surprise to this area, make people happy, because they really need something different.
Tong Dynasty could affect the number of patrons going to similar restaurants around town. But the owners of Sushi Matsumoto don't think that will be a problem.
I think we'll see some decline right after they open. But then I think there are enough people here to support more restaurants.
Some residents think Lexington already has a good variety of restaurants.
We have wonderful restaurants. We have a little bit of everything. You know, a little more expensive, less expensive, casual, a little dressier.
The new addition will give residents more than just a new place to eat.
I like competition because only the competition is good for customers. They can bring out more high quality food, more better service to the people.
Salerno Family Restaurant isn't too worried about competing with their new neighbor.
I also look at it in the manner of people eat Chinese once a week and Italian twice.
Tong Dynasty isn't the only new restaurant coming to Lexington. Nico's Grill is moving into the building where McCoy's Deli used to be. It plans on opening around the end of March or early April. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Katie Geddes.
Tong Dynasty plans to open Saturday. While it won't be warm enough to eat outside, this weekend will bring in some milder weather. But you'll still have to bundle up tonight. Temperatures will drop below freezing to 26 degrees on Friday. The winter sun will heat things up a bit. The high is 43 degrees. Friday night, the temperature will plummet to another low of 26. Watch out for melting snow and rising rivers during both days this weekend. The high on Saturday and Sunday will reach a sunny 47 degrees. Saturday night, the temperature will fall to 31, and on Sunday, the low reaches 29. Snow and ice is again in the forecast for Monday, with highs around 38 degrees and lows dropping to 30. When we come back, our sports desk has the latest on the local teams dominating the courts. And we'll take you to Vancouver, where Olympic contestants tackle the snowy slopes. All this and more after the break.
The hurricane has passed, but the recovery won't be complete until all the water has receded. If you're having trouble coping, Trained in Caring Help is waiting.
Hello, Grover, what are you doing?
Oh, I am making my emergency kit. I want to be prepared just in case.
Oh, my friend Mia made a kit with her family. Everyone help! They packed flashlights and batteries, water, food, a radio, and put it where they could find it rapidamente, quickly.
I guess I should take my canoe out of there, huh?
Look, Grover.
Help your family get ready for an emergency. Learn more at ready.gov/sesame.
Hello there. It is your old pal Grover. Meet my new friends.
Madison, Isaac, Alexa, Romeo, Amanda.
They have last names too.
Vigo, Shane, Lopez, Rodriguez, Warner.
Everybody has a first and last name, even mommies and daddies. Do you know yours? Do you know your mommies and daddies? If you do not, go find out.
Know your whole name so grown-ups can help you in an emergency. Learn more at ready.gov/sesame.
I am a teenager.
I am online.
I enjoy sharing thoughts,
Music, videos,
ideas, information.
I will not
be a victim to threats,
to stalking,
to soliciting,
to predators.
I will be responsible. I will be careful.
I will be honest,
I will be smarter. I will get my parents involved.
I will protect myself,
I will be safe.
I am a teenager.
And I
will not
be bullied.
Now it's time for Rockbridge Report Sports. Joining us now is sports anchor Jason Bocci with an update on local, national, and international sports. Jason, what do you have for us?
Well, Queenie, first we head to the basketball courts where the Washington Lee men's team defeated Roanoke College 75-53 last night. The Generals started strong, scoring 14 points before the Maroons sank their first basket. The Generals finished the season this Saturday when they traveled to Harrisonburg to face 12th-ranked Eastern Mennonite. A win against Mennonite could give the Generals a number 5 seed in the conference tournament. They are currently 16-8. In women's basketball, the Generals are now 14-8 following their win against Eastern Mennonite. EMU led most of the game, but the Generals fought back, winning 73-70. The Generals return home to face Roanoke College on Friday. At Cameron Hall, the VMI Cadets defeated High Point 91-84. Junior Austin Kennan scored a season-high 38 points. The game began strong for the Cadets with a 13-5 run. The Cadets travel to Charleston to take on Charleston Southern next week. All the snow this winter has made it hard for local colleges and high school sports to stick to their schedules. Rockbridge reporter Ann Vasulis visited sports teams around the area to find out how games and practices have been affected by the wintry weather.
The snow in Rockbridge County has all but paralyzed high school and college sports. Despite the weather, some basketball games are still keeping to schedule. The Virginia Military Institute had better luck getting in games.
The basketball game that was played here that day, that team actually got here late Thursday night before it even ever started snowing. So, I mean, we planned that. You know, we knew the snow was coming.
Both VMI and Washington and Lee University have had to resort to extra funds to have their athletes stay overnight at away games.
Fortunately, people have been very dutiful in taking care of being careful with their money and the budgeting, so we've found a way to make it work so far.
Rockbridge County High School had to cancel over a dozen winter sports games. Some games were rescheduled, but with tournaments approaching, some basketball games just fell through.
We've tried to stay in touch with everybody else we play because you got so many school systems involved, and you got to deal with what they go by too.
As spring sports start to get into the swing of things and snow completely covers baseball and lacrosse fields, teams have had to get creative to get ready for the season. Trying to get into the gym to practice has been a challenge for the athletes, and they'll take whatever time they can get.
Those spring sports, with the exception of tennis because they have an indoor facility, have had to really change their practice schedules around almost daily, and sometimes by the hour.
Getting the fields ready for the season opener has facilities management and even coaches hustling. While they've had some success in clearing the infield, the outfield still looks like a winter wonderland. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Ann Vasulis.
Rockbridge County High School hopes to start its spring season practices and scrimmages next week. Local sports continues despite all the snow, but in Vancouver, the Olympic athletes are struggling because of the lack of snow. In the medal count so far, Americans have won 5 golds, 3 silvers, and 6 bronzes. Shaun White is the most recent American to win a gold for Team USA. The 23-year-old White took gold Wednesday night in the men's halfpipe competition, while Finland settled for silver, and American teammate Scotty Lago won bronze.
Speaking of the 2010 Olympics, Jason, you're actually going to be there in Vancouver covering the games. Very exciting opportunity. What are your plans once you arrive in the city?
Well, I'll be covering Mike Kahn, a Chantilly native competing in the 2- and 4-man bobsled races. He's the driver of the third USA bobsled team.
Who are some of the bobsledding frontrunners? Mike Kahn, he won silver in Salt Lake in 2002. Is he considered a gold medal contender, or is Canada looking at another victory on home ice?
Well, the favorite is Kahn's teammate Steve Holcomb. Kahn is a bit of a long shot for gold, but the difficulty of the course does give experienced drivers like him a shot to sneak onto the podium.
There's also been concern about the safety of the Whistler Sliding Center, where bobsledding is being held. Should bobsledders be worried that they might be going too fast?
The course is widely considered the fastest in the world and demands more technical expertise than most. But these guys are the best sliders in the world, and if anything, I think they're pretty excited to get going.
Well, thanks for that sports update, Jason, and good luck in Vancouver. When we return, a look at Lexington's own African American history.
We're clear.
The hurricane has passed, but the recovery won't be complete until all the water has receded. If you're having trouble coping, trained and caring help is waiting.
Hola, Grover, what are you doing?
Oh, I am making my emergency kit. I want to be prepared just in case.
Oh, my friend Mia made a kit with her family. Everyone help! They packed flashlights and batteries, water, food, a radio, and put it where they could find it rapidamente, quickly.
I guess I should take my canoe out of there, huh?
Look, Grover.
Help your family get ready for an emergency. Learn more at ready.gov/sesame.
Hello there. It is your old pal Grover. Meet my new friends.
Madison, Isaac, Alexa, Romeo, Amanda,
They have last names too.
Vigo, Shane, Lopez, Rodriguez, Warner.
Everybody has a first and last name, even mommies and daddies. Do you know yours? Do you know your mommies and daddies? If you do not, go find out.
Know your whole name so grown-ups can help you in an emergency. Learn more at ready.gov/sesame.
I am a teenager.
I am online.
I enjoy sharing thoughts.
Music. Videos.
Ideas. Information.
I will not
I will not be a victim to threats.
to stalking. To soliciting. To predators.
I will be responsible. I will be careful.
I will be honest.
I will be smarter. I will get my parents involved.
I will protect myself.
I will be safe.
I am a teenager.
And I
And I
will not
be bullied.
The hurricane has passed, but the recovery won't be complete until all the water has receded. If you're having trouble coping, trained and caring help is waiting.
Hola, Grover, what are you doing?
Oh, I am making my emergency kit. I want to be prepared just in case.
Oh, my friend Mia made a kit with her family. Everyone help! They packed flashlights and batteries, water, food, a radio, and put it where they could find it rapidamente, quickly.
I guess I should take my canoe out of there, huh?
Look, Grover.
Help your family get ready for an emergency. Learn more at ready.gov/sesame.
In honor of Black History Month, we take you to a historical African-American landmark in Lexington, Evergreen Cemetery. Stonewall Jackson Memorial Cemetery draws attention in Lexington, but it's not the only cemetery in town. Evergreen Cemetery is Lexington's African-American cemetery and a historical landmark in its own right. Today, the cemetery is on Newmarket Place by Kroger, but many of the tombstones came from an earlier cemetery, originally located near Marbury Lane. By 1880, the cemetery has fallen into neglect. The town council ordered that additional burials in the cemetery be stopped and the bodies moved to Evergreen. But many say that not all of the bodies or tombstones made it to Evergreen, and local African Americans want to ensure the graves of their ancestors remain intact.
Future, those spaces will be only used for what they're used for now, parks and cemeteries. So what happened in the 1800s will not happen to Evergreen Cemetery, that it will forever remain a cemetery and a place of honor.
Some local historians say a historical marker should commemorate the site, but the residential location makes this a challenge, and no markers have been built. That's all for this week's edition of the Rockbridge Report. For more local news and information, be sure to check out our website at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. For breaking news and updates, follow at Rockbridge News on Twitter. Thanks for joining us. I'm Queenie Wong.
Bye.